Hi guys, my name is Jaden. I am a double major in Spanish and philosophy with a possible minor in law, ethics, and society, and I'm here to answer you all's questions. You guys asked a lot of great questions. I'm only going to be able to answer a few, but here we go. Your favorite memory at Berea? I like this question because there's a lot of memories that I have. My favorite one would have to be when me and my friends made like a movie night. I don't think they finished their homework. I finished my homework. So I was ready to relax, ready to chill, ready to do whatever it is that I wanted to do without the worry of homework on my mind. But we went into KTAL, and on the third floor of KTAL, there's this study room that's just really big. It's just a room. But it also has a TV in there. So we hooked up our computer to the TV, we turned on Netflix, and then we pushed the tables out the way, and we made like a little fort on the floor. And we watched scary movies all night, and then we each brought like our own little food. So I brought the popcorn, my friend brought the drinks, my other friend brought the candy, and we just had a great night. We just had a nice little fun movie night, and it was really cute. And so that was my favorite memory.
It's a little thing.
It is really the little things. Like there's a lot of stuff that we do and that we had done together, but it just felt like, we were home. Like this is something that I did with my cousins, and I just felt really, really comfortable and really just like, oh, I'm doing this with my friends. So yeah. Next question. Do you have a job on campus? Yes, we all have jobs on campus. So I work in the admissions office, and my job is essentially, I'm the tour ambassador. So if you've seen me before, hey, how you doing again? But yeah, so I work in the admissions office. There are 120 different departments on campus and 300 different labor positions that are available to you. So when you first come here, unfortunately, you won't have the pleasure of selecting your own job, simply because there are two positions that need the most people, which are facilities assistants and dining. And so with that being said, like you'll submit a resume and they'll look at that and they'll take that into consideration of where to place you, but that might not guarantee, because you could get placed into dining or become a facilities assistant. The following year, after your first year, you can start applying to whatever position that you're interested in. There's 300 different positions. And the best way to think about this is if related to a major. So for example, if you're really interested in teaching, we have a child development lab, which is where our non-traditional students or our faculty even, it's a daycare for their children. And so if you're really interested in teaching little kids, you could work in the child development lab and, be the little daycare preschool teacher to them. You could work in, if you're really interested in broadcasting or like journalists and stuff like that, we have a studio, we have marketing and communications building. You can work in here and be the people who are recording me right now. Like that could be you. Literally, if whatever it is that you're interested in, there's most likely a job for it. When you come to Berea, we gift you with a computer, the newest edition of a Dell Latitude laptop. And if that breaks or anything like that, we can take it to ISNS. Who works in ISNS? Students. They're the ones that are fixing our computers. When the Wi-Fi goes out, who's fixing that? Students and other faculty, of course.
So what you're saying is, just because you come to Berea doesn't mean you have to make a broom or milk a cow.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You do not have to make a broom or milk a cow, but if you want to, you can. How can high schools support students as they prepare to
That's okay.
Question number 2. How can high schools support students as they prepare to transition to life on campus? I would say high schools can work with parents and family to prepare students for the responsibilities and the freedom as an adult that they're going to have here on campus. So for example, if there was like a workshop or just some sort of encouragement at home to say, all right, let's teach our kids how to do their own laundry, how to make their own meals, how to schedule their own dentist and doctor's appointments, because those are some stuff you're going to have to learn how to do when you get here. And if you don't know how to do that, your mommy's not going to be here. I mean, she can't help you if she wants to, but you're going to have to learn how to do that yourself. In addition, I would say, if there are any like college and career readiness workshops that can prepare students to ask the right type of questions when they're on college tours or when they're, searching for the right college, learning how to ask the right questions about your financial aid or about certain programs that you're interested in, and be aware that, for the long run, do you want to be in debt? Do you want to not be in debt? Are you okay with that at all? Those type of things. So the last thing, this seems so in the back of your mind, but it actually is very, very important. If teachers could start giving, you know, students more responsibility, for example, allow them to use the bathroom whenever they have to go. For me, my Spanish class, it was the strangest thing in the world when she said that we did not have to ask her to go to the bathroom. We did not have to raise our hand. If we had to go, we could just go. Y'all might laugh at that, but I kid you not, that was the biggest change for me. And that was actually very weird, but I like that. I enjoy that freedom. You know, I'm a grown adult. I'm in college. Shouldn't have to ask to go potty. You know what I'm saying? What are the fees / how much does it cost to come to Berea? So y'all ready for this? Get the drum roll out. Okay, you ready? Nothing. Okay. Berea has a no tuition promise. So your tuition is $0 that you pay. Now that tuition is essentially a scholarship, and that scholarship is at about $176,000. You ain't got to worry about that. That's a 4-year thing. You don't have to worry about that. But what does come that you do have to worry about is your EFC, which stands for your expected family contribution. And that can range from like $0 or to $2,000, depending on whatever it is that your parents make and depending on the FAFSA, essentially. So that type of thing is what you would be paying for. Housing, that's essentially what your ESV depends on. So Berea doesn't pay, you don't pay any tuition, right? We cover that for you. But as for housing, that's where your EFC comes into place. So like I said, my EFC is 0. So essentially my housing is, I don't pay anything for housing. But for other people, I know my one friend, her EFC was like $1,000. And that's essentially what her housing was, that she had to pay for her room and board. Her housing was like $1,000. And depending on how you set that up, you can pay for that with the money that we give you when you work here. So we pay you, and you can set up a payment plan to where, you know, a certain amount of funds that you get from your paycheck can go towards paying off that EFC, paying off that balance, or you can just put it straight to your pocket. Scholarships can definitely come into play and tank the cost of that. And it depends on those type of scholarships. So for me, I applied to a lot of outside scholarships. So they were just small, different organizations through my churches, through, you know, nonprofit organizations that were just handing out scholarships for students and whatnot. And once I received those, I had the option to either have them sent directly to my school or have them sent to me. So for example, my Keys money. So as a Kentucky student, we get academic scholarships essentially for our GPA. And every semester I see my Keys money on my financial aid package and I see what they use it for and how it's applying towards my bills and my total and things like that. They throw money at you. All you gotta do is catch it. All you gotta do is catch it. I say that on my tour too. My EFC is $0. So the only thing that I see on my student account is my books. And little do you know, Berea gives us a $100 book grant. So what am I really paying? Nothing. All of this sounds amazing, sounds fantastic, but how is this possible? I like to say benevolence. Berea is first funded by grants and the state, but also majority of our money is donated. Berea alumni, they give back. So we have this day called Giving Day, where literally like, it's like we court all of our alumni and other people to come back to campus to see what our students are doing. We kind of show them, parade ourselves a little bit, and we say, hey, this is the work that we're achieving. And they love that. They're like, wow, these smart, intelligent people who just don't have the resources to do what they're capable of, like, that's not fair. And so they see the potential we have, and they thrive off that, and they donate and they bless us with that. And in return, we bless them back by going and doing amazing things, going and being amazing people and doing things that we otherwise would have never gotten the opportunity to do. Next question. What are my chances of getting into Berea? So our acceptance rate is about 33%. And that can seem a bit intimidating, but don't let that scare you. All of our students have their own story, and we're all unique and in our own individual ways, and that's what makes Berea a community. So if that number, that 33%, scares you, a way to boost your application is to submit like a personal statement. Like, tell us your story, tell us more about you, tell us what your transcript and what, you know, your GPA doesn't reveal about you. That's what we want to know. What's the food like? It's definitely different from high school cafeteria food, as in it's a notch above, but it's dining. Okay, let me clarify this. We have a lot of options. So if you are a vegetarian, like for example, I'm a pescatarian, I only eat fish. And we have options that cater to that. We have, like I said, we have vegetarian options. We have, if you have dietary restrictions or anything like that, we have food that caters to that. And we also just have like a lot of variety. Like, you know, sometimes we'll always have our cheeseburgers and French fries, but then one day they might make some, you know, baked chicken with some corn, some mashed potatoes, some green beans, things of that nature. So we have this thing called Fire and Ice. And it's basically where they make the meal right in front of you. So it's like sometimes they'll make like a breakfast pancake thing, but for lunch, and they'll make the pancake or the crepe right in front of you. They have all the little works that you can add onto it. But my favorite is when they make them Philly cheesesteaks, because you can add, you know, the onions, the green peppers, the cheese, all the works. I love them when they have Philly cheesesteak days, but I don't eat that no more. So, but when I did, it was schmack. And with that being said, we have a seasoning station. So with that variety, with us trying to cater to everybody's, you know, food and dietary restrictions and whatnot, we have our own personal seasoning station. It's just like a little spin thing. It's got all the works, so, you know, you can add whatever it is that you need to make it a little, spice it up a little bit. What I like to do is pick and choose from each station. So I might go to the vegetarian area, pick some vegetables up, and then if they got fish out that day, I'll take some fish and whatnot, and then I'll go in, add like a little cilantro from the salad bar, and right there I got me some nice seasoned tilapia. You know what I'm saying? So you can make it the best, even though it might not be the best initially. You got to get creative. That's why you got to start learning how to cook. If you know how to cook, you know how to make it work. We have a whole desserts bar. Okay, so in addition to all the, you know, things that they cater to for the dietary restrictions and all of that, we have a sandwich bar, and then we have a dessert bar. At the dessert bar, there's an ice cream little station that always got some cookie out, some brownie out, and then sometimes the chef will make it like a little specialty. So one day he made this like cheesecake crumble type thing. I don't even know what it was called, but I don't know. It was amazing. It was amazing. So you can always find a little something good there. So the next question. What does being a Bonner Scholar look like? So essentially, the Bonner Scholars program is, it's a job. So when you apply, you have to apply. And if you get accepted, it is kind of, you know, competitive. But if you get accepted, you work in volunteer service, which is kind of counterintuitive because you're getting paid to volunteer. But if you really enjoy community service and things of that nature, you can work there. And we have our center. It's called Center for Excellence in Learning Through Service. We call it CELTS. And through CELTS, we have a whole bunch of different organizations. We have like Adopt a Grandparent. We have Berea Buddies. We have the HOP, which is the Hispanic Outreach Program. And those are just to name a few. Your first year, you'll just be getting acquainted with those organizations. And then your years after that, you'll select an organization that you really, you know, resonate with. And you'll work with them for your whole 4 years. Once you get accepted, into Berea, they'll actually start sending you emails. I know during my first year, all I got was different emails about Bridge, different emails about Bonner Scholars, and just different emails pertaining to the possibilities that you could participate in on campus. So just be mindful of those. Pay attention to your emails. All right, so next question. What is your favorite spot to hang out on campus? I would say there's two spots, okay? The chill spot was where everybody hangs out, which is, that's in the activity center in the bottom of alumni. And that's essentially like literally the chill spot. There's a ping pong table, there's a pool table, there's 2 game centers, like game room centers. We have different TVs, and you can hook up your game system to there and have like a little tournament if you want to. Like it's really chill. And also like there's a speaker through the whole center. So like the person who's on duty that night, you can, you know, tell them, hey, can I have the aux? And you can play your own music, whatever that you want. The other place that I really like to chill is essentially like the lobby areas or the basement areas of whatever dorm that I live in. So right now on campus, our favorite spot to hang out is the lobby of Deep Green. And that's mainly because we all live in the same residence hall, and like our one friend, she just comes over every day and we all just kind of hang out there. So yeah, whatever that you can find, honestly. So last question. All right. As an African American, do you feel safe as a Berea student? To answer that question plainly, I am as safe as I can expect to be in this country as a Black person. I've experienced racial slurs. I've experienced, you know, kind of that racial tension, but that's something to expect of as a rural town. Now, when I came to Berea, I have yet to experience that. I haven't experienced that at all. And with that being said, like, even if I were to walk, you know, going to the town, like, and I have before, like I've been to Walmart and I've walked the outskirts of Berea and whatnot, and it's not it's not something out of the ordinary. Like, it's not going to be, this is a town where, oh, they're going to seek you out and they're going to make sure that you feel threatened or anything like that. Like, it's, so I'm going to be completely honest. Okay. So I came from a predominantly white town, school, everything. And I had like one other black friend in class. And I was the only black person in class, matter of fact, too. And that was normal for me. I was fine with that. I mean, there's not more I can do. When I came to Berea, all I saw was people of color. I was like, wow, why is there so many here? This is crazy. This is cool. And considering that, you know, Berea still is a predominantly white school, I felt like I was surrounded, you know, by people of color. And I loved that. And like my freshman year, my friend group, I had one white friend and the rest were all black or Latino. And I loved that because I never realized how much we actually had in common and still how much differences that we shared. Like, it was an amazing experience. And so with that being said, on campus, there are a plethora of activities and organizations catered specifically to people of color. One of the programs that the Black Culture Center offers to support our students is called the BMLI, which stands for the Black Male Leadership Initiative. And Keith Bullock is the black faculty member in charge of that. And they do a lot of things. They travel, they, you know, have these little workshops and mentorships and things just to make sure that they have the skills needed in order to be successful here at Berea. So the sister team of that is called Squad. Squad is essentially the female version, and that's not just for black, you know, women. It's any woman of color, to make sure that we have the skills we need in order to be successful here in a predominantly, you know, white area, and even just here in Berea in general. And we also have the Espacio Cultural Latinx Center, which is the Latinx Culture Center. They do the exact same thing. They have the exact, you know, same sort of mindset in regards to making sure that students are prepared. And with that being said, like, anybody is welcome to partake in the activities or even be in those spaces, but they do have sources available that cater to our needs as people of color. So yes, I feel perfectly safe in Berea. There are a lot of us here. I promise y'all. You just gotta find them. Not even find them. Like, literally today, I kid you not, we walked up, me and my friend Erica were walking to dining, and there was this girl, of course she was black, and I hadn't seen her before, and she just goes, "Hey, are you new? Who are you?" And I was like, you gonna walk up to her? She was like, "Yeah, I mean, why not?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm here for it." So her name was Cara, made a new friend, and now she's cool. Well, she already was cool, but yeah. I definitely found my community here, and you definitely will too.
Is there anything else you want to say to the people? This is your time to shine. Anything else like that you wish you had known?
Yeah, you know how many times I hear that on the tour? Okay. Yes, this is what I would say. Okay. So this is the inside tea for all of my people that are like, Berea? But it's in the Berea? Let me tell y'all, okay? Yes, Berea only has, you know, a Walmart. Yes, Berea is in a small little rural town. But honestly, I love it here. Like, when I'm at home, I'm like, okay. But the community that I have here at Berea just makes the place just seem so much more thriving. You can still have fun here, even though it's a small town. You can. It's possible. I promise you. Oh, one more thing. Okay, when I tell y'all, like, the opportunities are endless. Okay, y'all see me, right? I'm a person of color, right? Which means I would never go in the woods. Guess what I have done, y'all? I have hiked. I have kayaked. I have loved it. Like, when I tell y'all, it's just so... Oh, no, that was so much fun. Like, plus, look how cute she is. Like, this... She is gorgeous. In the spring, baby, this campus is beautiful. Come on now.
Anything else?
That's all I got.